Alright, greetings. Different location to get somewhere where I'm not filming anybody. So yeah, there was a traffic accident where I was. I couldn't get it. If I had to turn around, I'd still be in the second traffic. So it's on the beach, and there's only so much they can do. Yeah, a cop was coming by, almost freaking ran into me. It was in a panic. Two cops sped over to it. So I'm surprised they don't have those little mopeds or what do they call them? The hoverboards. Kind of used to have the cops around those. I forget what they call them. This is Sand Key. This might be a hangout. It's a park/beach. Yeah, I got the military haircut. I have to cut it every day to keep it short, but when I start doing that, it's just easier. So I talked about the past of spiritual teenagers, but I ain't going into the details about getting on that. I guess I'll go this way. I'm sure I know where I'm, so I don't get lost out here. That's one, and the other part of like spiritual teenager / disinfo agent. So obviously there's a lot of disinfo agents out there, but there's certain ones I'm keeping an eye on. They might complain about whatever, but they still get a lot of traffic views, whatever spiritual mumbo jumbo they put out there. And they're allowed to manipulate people. It's not people are going to be that ignorant. It's a learning process. They got to learn eventually, but it's kind of like the Willy Wonka type of, not exactly, but their conferences, all that nonsense, just whatever. Just manipulating the shit out of people, basically. Well, you got, if the people are there that take them for a ride, snake oil salesmen got to do what they got to do, right? And it's a hard one because you have your bigger players that are manipulating the narrative, but then you have the smaller ones that are trying to be a little bit more comfort zone, everyday man, but there's really no everyday man, or manipulation man. Either way, not everyone's ready for deeper connections and all. They're at the entertainment level, which is nothing wrong with that. Or they're just having trouble connecting with this reality. So obviously connected to multiple dimensions, but and I get I run into those that are super judgmental and the spiritual work, obviously the real work or the real journey or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it work because I don't know if that's a good word. I never liked that word. Journey, but I don't know what to call it. Inner demise, inner misery, whatever it is. It's all just inner conflict. I mean, it's not just inner traumas, but just dealing with others and their issues, and it's not the New Age love and light. It's actually a lot more, at least the real spiritual work, or the whatever you want to call it. It's more of a deep-rooted. It's ugly. It doesn't have to be ugly all the time, but it can be. Yeah, because that's where the real soul growth is. Really, just it's like working on a jet engine or something while it's flying or crashing or whatever it is. Doing a tune-up on a burning airplane. Or talking about more individuals that are like that, or just burn the candle on both ends, or burn everything down, and it's kind of like, an episode of Touched by an Angel or Highway to Heaven or whatever it is. But it's like in real life, and it's not what it's cracked up to be. You know, people are not telling you you're an angel or alien or whatever. I guess you could eventually, 10 years later. Yeah, because it's definitely not, some of these soul work situations are not done overnight. Years. And not just on yourself, but on others that you might be dealing with. Years. Even when you say no to it, it still comes back. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know what it's just, it's a lot of deep root work that others cannot, so I don't want to use the word work, but whatever. I don't think there's just words here that would describe, not enough. But either way, it's, just the deep root, re-engineering or unblocking the blockages and all that. Yeah, it's just not as beautiful as people might want to see. Or it's not for network television, I guess. I guess it could be, but anyway. The other thing about disinfo agents, though, they usually do have red flags. They might have on the surface good intentions, maybe, not usually. But they have little, the ego they gotta deal with. Obviously, the major ones are easy to spot sometimes. Not everybody's ready. It was like the religious stuff. It's just your religious figures are kind of the same thing. Your televangelist, not much different. But they have some red flags. The more, they might have something in their closet that scandal they might get involved with that gives you kind of a clarity of, this person's kind of shady. But even there, people forgive it. Continue the manipulations, but all the red flags are there for that individual to see. The disinfo agent that they're getting scammed by other scammers and whatever. Either way, it's just the writing's on the wall and they're not seeing it. And they're just here just to keep people in a circle and a loop and just keep playing the shit out of them. Like I say, they're not quite there to release all of that yet. It's not as easy as it sounds to upgrade from all that, to see a different view. Especially when there's large crowds that enjoy, that are into that type of thing. Coming out of that consciousness is not as easy as it sounds. It's like having your, waking up out of religion, of course, and then you fall into the alien religions, and you got to pull yourself out of that after 5 or 10 years or a lifetime. You're not seeing the ego stuff and all that. Just forget about this. So I just see that's my job to go into all that, but I figure I might as well mention it here and there sometimes. But because they bring in just a lot of dirt with them, the people that are around them. They're just as scummy as just mud. It's one thing is individuals have issues, but then when you have a disinfo agent surrounded by slime, on a personal level, like on the surface they might look all friendly, but in the long run it's dirty. So that's why you go to these conferences and you can see the truth come out if you're ready for it. They might on the surface so I get to go, you're going to learn stuff that you weren't planning on learning. Especially when you have some of the speakers there have a huge ego, and eventually it's hilarious. It's a cartoon. It's just a Shakespearean cartoon, I guess. It's anyway, soul growth. You might be looking for knowledge again about the SSPs or whatever they got over there. and then there's another layer of growth. Like, what the fuck? Who's running this show? Anyway, it is fucked up too, huh? Yep, it is domino effect. You can see that, it says a lot. So, yeah, it's not either way, but if you get, bite of these things and you feel like you need to go, there's some reason for it. But if you're up for a wake-up call, it's you'll find one there. So, all right, we connect to what else is what do we got? Palladians, Syrian. I haven't done the Syrians. Orions. Yeah, I haven't done the Orion. What's the one to the Orion? Those guys can be kind of dive into some of this stuff. Take a shovel to cut the cord. All right, is it positive or positive tension? Orion energies will be on our way. So yeah, where the war is going on Tuesday, Monday, some. Weird. Tuesday has been emotional. Yeah. So, shit. So, this is. Brings me there. Ryan, consciousness. It's always up to you to decide what's. Yes, you get many wake up calls, but many just wake up and they turn it off. The alarm clock comes on and they change the channel, or just, no, I'm going to wake up later. Well, you call it waking up. That's another way of describing your spiritual unlocking, revealing. Not to say the aliens have it all figured out, no, but that's just, everyone's issues are on this planet. Maybe not all of the universe, but a lot of it is here, and unlocking all of it is not as easy as it sounds. And it's just sometimes you have to make a lot of mistakes to eventually see you had made mistakes to begin with, to eventually face your own shadow. Facing the shadow is not as easy as it sounds. Disinfo agent energies, yeah, some of those are archon beings that can manipulate, cloak themselves. Now, that doesn't mean they're high-powered ones, but they can be ones that are chameleons. I do come in and shake the timeline up. Well, they want to keep this world shut down as long as they can, and it's working. They have now. What does it do to them karmically? It does not do. Yeah, you say they don't really. I mean, the amount of numbers people keep shut down. Do they grow at all? On the surface they look like they're growing, but internally not really. No. You can say they're getting worse. I mean, their growth is more dark until they're ready to break out of it, but usually they're holding on to they like power over others, I guess, a televangelist, and they're going to continue on. So you have different versions of it in your spiritual groups. They're not going to get on a stage, and they're going to do it more homegrown and more, they have to do something different. You can't do the same as your religion. You have to have a different atmosphere. So do it online, and they have to look as plain as normal to be accepted by society. But yeah, what it does for them, it gives them more leverage over others to take their energy and then manipulate. And then, on the astral surface, they don't look very good. No, they look like creatures, basically. But they might come off here as looking as attractive as possible. And yes, without going into all the details. Now, why are they allowed to do this? Is because it's a lot of flaws within the human race, as you can see. Is that humans kind of welcoming the vampire in. So when people are allowing that, it's like others. It's like it's not the same thing as opening up a window and playing the vampire, and now it's on your internet instead, or cathedrals, or wherever it is, and people just follow the crowds, not realizing what they're following. And eventually they might be able to find a way out, but it just shows that they need to be on this world for a long time. When you start snapping out of the manipulation, that's when you don't want to be here anymore, because you see beyond the matrix, you see how this all operates. So of course you don't want to be here anymore. Why would you? This is not your testing. I mean, you're still being tested, but it's so much different. Others are being tested. They need to stay here. Yes, they need to stay in the cooker until they can figure things out. It's just, it's kind of like when you don't want to be here anymore. It's basically it's just kind of like the Matrix. You're pulling the plugs out of your energy field, and you feel alone. And it's not that easy. But you're outside the system. And it's just, unplugging others from the system is not as it's cracked up to be, but while you're here, you might as well, do what you can, as miserable as it might be. But you'd be surprised how many need to go through all this. They just haven't quite snapped out of it. Eventually they'll make a movie out of it. They're not going to yet, because they don't want people to figure this out. No, they don't want to make it that easy. I mean, they could, but no one will believe it. I mean, it'd be like such a mind screw on so many, because it's not the sci-fi. Like, you open up from the Matrix, it's not the sci-fi realm. It's just you're not being mind manipulated by the system anymore, and you feel very, very, very alone. And then yes, you connect to astral realms and all that too. What do you do with yourself? How do you make this? While you're here, what do you do? There's no underground tunnel you can go and hang out with others that are similar to yourself. No, it's not that simple. It's almost like a horror movie. You can say that. It doesn't have to be simulated, but it can be like that. But it's talk about inner work, inner journey, inner unlocking. You're decoding this realm. And it sends out to the universe, they just say they lost another one. But those are plugs. So how does the web work? The mental web. It's basically those are pulled into all these manipulations. It's through the mind. You don't see the wires, the mind control through it, but when you cut all those, it doesn't mean, you're not going to catch every detail, but overall, you're outside the system. Of course, some are part of the conspiracy system. Of course, the spiritual systems, as you can see, are quite manipulative. But when you cut all those out too, and you just see all the shadow energies that are going on, it's very isolating. And not everyone's ready to cut all those cords, because when you break out, it really is a loner's world, you can say. Even if you do connect to others that are similar to yourself, it's still very isolating. It's like, wow, you see other realities that are much more, enlightened than this one. We are here to unlock others at some point. But right now it's just preserving yourself, keeping your own sanity, however that works. Whatever you make of it.